Voila. We in the building, okay? Long awaited, highly anticipated. With my brother, he been with me for well, I don't know since I started this thing, okay? And since I started this thing, it was just audio. We was on Blog Talk talking crazy, seemed like a lifetime ago. But we back, together doing what we do. He's still doing what he does best. Like I'm doing what I do best. And he here to give us a checkup from the neck up. He don't take no mess. All right. So we here promoting this program and we about to get into it. So it becomes my honor and privilege that it's time to introduce some, present the others, and welcome back to his second home. Okay. The lead mechanic here to help us to extend our car life and our bank life because something go wrong with your car, your life ain't never gonna be the same again. So peace to the lead mechanic. How you doing, my brother?
Wonderful, wonderful. Definitely grateful to be back on this. I seen you grow, man. I mean, you're doing your thing. Definitely appreciate you and everyone who have been tuning and supporting this brother and continue support this brother. And hopefully, all guys like the show, share it, let other people know about him because he's doing some great stuff, man. This brother, he's one who's going to continue doing what he got to do. Definitely notice in today's time, our cars has to take us a whole lot more further than we used to
Mhm.
going in life because things are getting high, the pricing,
Right.
sometimes we don't have the knowledge on how to go about getting the better price. So I decided to take out some time of my knowledge as a certified mechanic, known as a lead mechanic. I have a program called Extend Your Car Life. ExtendYourCarLife.com is my website. Also have a YouTube channel also called Extend Your Car Life. If one, have some issues or problems that you want to speak to me about, I could be able to help resolve it. Also on this show, guys, you have questions. You also got, send your questions in the bell too. We could be able to speak on that as well too. I'm gonna turn back over to you, my brother.
Hey, look, this man been doing this task right here for a long time. You see, long before I known him. You understand what I'm saying? So he's one that's true to it. He ain't new to it. There's a lot of new folks. They like, oh man, all I need is YouTube. You see what I'm saying? So let's go there. Folks are saying, what I need to go to, to the mechanic for. All I need is YouTube. I got YouTube University. I could take my car apart and put it back together. You know, uh, what would you say about that in that aspect? And
Well,
what's been
well,
your experience like with that?
I
As
mean,
far as that goes.
it depends on. I mean, YouTube is not really a bad tool. Depends on what it is, of course. I mean, if you
Mm,
wanna, you're not showing the air filter and you want to take off the air filter, even a wiper blade, but you still got to be careful with that because you could crack a windshield if you don't do it right either.
right.
So, I mean, YouTube is good for knowledge and you got to be careful practical wise as well, too. You make a getaway on some things, but now when you're check engine light, you having issues with drivability. I definitely would urge going to a mechanic or getting advice from an actual professional and to actually dealing with that.
Okay. So drivability. Now we breaking the things down into some components now. So versus simple fixes. You ain't got to go to the mechanic to get to change the light out, right? You see what I'm saying? The light bulb anyway, but what are some of the instances that you would advise people to you could do this yourself versus going to a mechanic, and what are some things that you like? Ain't no way. You see what I'm saying?
So if you're a handy person, probably a light bulb wouldn't depends on the vehicle as well too. Because there's some vehicle you gotta take the bump off in order to change the light bulb. So if it was kind of fairly simple to see it, but you could just bend over, open hood, bend over and look, and you can see it right there. Then yeah, I mean, I wouldn't see as a big deal on doing it versus taking it to a mechanic. Again, like going back to the wiper blades. If you carefully be able to do as well too, then crossing the arm, got to be careful of holding the arm, don't let it go, so don't swing back and hit the windshield and crack it. So that should be simple to do. Your cabin air filter. Most people don't even realize it's there. So that's very important as well too, because that deal now with inside of the car that deals with your health on the air that you're breathing from your AC or your heater, depends on where you live in the world. So you want to always have fresh air coming in the vehicle for your health. So you definitely want to take care of your cabin air filter. And sometimes depends on which vehicle, like some Fords, you got to take out the whole glove compartment, and that could be a little tedious. So if you're not up to the challenge, I will assume you should take that to actual mechanic for them to take that apart. There's a couple of screws you got to take out. Now there's some like Hondas, Toyotas. You kind of like just push. It's like one or two bolts and it comes right out. So it's not as hard on doing it, but you probably could watch a YouTube and it wouldn't be as difficult in doing it. So again, if you're not comfortable, I would say take it somewhere where they know what they're doing.
Now they know what they're doing. Let's get into that. You know where I'm going, right? The shade tree mechanic, a guy don't know what he talking about, or a lady don't know what she's talking about going into the place. They walk into the place, they looking lost, and the mechanic like, yeah, this about to
So
cost you $3,000 type situation.
right. So this could go from a trade shoe mechanic even to a corporation or dealership or wherever you decide to take it. So pretty much that front end person have the similar mindset. The difference will be a trade mechanic will have probably more mechanical knowledge than you taking it to actual shop. Because normally in the shop they divide the people up. You got the front end corner person that just deals with getting your issues, your problems, taking it and then transferring it over to the actual mechanic. And then he looks at it and then relate it back to the front end person, then relate back to you. So I would be more inclined to speak if you go to a shop to the actual mechanic on the vehicle. Because the front end person goal is to sell, 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 sell. That's the goal, to bring in the customer and collect the money. Not saying they may not have knowledge, but they definitely don't have the knowledge as the mechanic, or it wouldn't be no need for the mechanic. So I would definitely try to ask the mechanic more questions versus the front end person more questions. Now, if you go to a tree mechanic, if he has some reviews from people, or you hear some good stuff about the guy or the lady, maybe the trade mechanic, and I will go by word by mode and try to understand who he is or who she is, and how they work out. I would not just go there, but normally we more go to shops, and again, I will speak directly to the mechanic themselves to make sure that the information that's being related to the front end is being properly related to the mechanic, because you could have a problem with relating the information. So you want to always make sure that is clean cut information, so that way your problem could be addressed properly what you came in for.
Now, even before we even get into maintenance and repair, what about the car buying process? I don't think we put enough stock in that. Somebody going in there, they talking
Mhm.
slick to you, real fast to you, blah blah blah. You driving the car in your head, you don't know what you really got going on. You know, uh, Especially
So
nowadays with the car buying experience, people are doing more with their car, like you said, than they ever done before. Like some folks might be
mhm.
doing Uber, then they might be doing DoorDash, they might be doing all of these things now in addition, because the car now has become another stream or secondary stream of income, something to supplement your income now. So
That's
that's
true.
more wear and tear on the car. So the car buying process, I deal with that.
So definitely before you even get into a car buying process, it all depends on, are you a single person? Are you living alone with family members? Are you married? What type of income y'all guys have coming in? Are you in a position where only one person is working and a married couple or two people are working? So overall, you're looking at a budget. That's the first thing. So you never want to get into something without being properly informed and have the information that you can afford it. and maintain it as well too. That's what I mean by being properly informed. So you also want to ask yourself, well, I'm looking to buy, say, a 2018 Honda Accord. Well, how much does 2018 Honda Accord cost? Before you even go to the car lot, go online, check it out. Prices out there. I mean, you could search all kind of different options for 2000 Honda Accord. Is it white, black? Does it cost more? Will have extras along with it? Is it $20,000? Is it 10? Is it used? Is it fairly new? How much mileage on it? So you want to get all the details to the car, the price on the car, how much other dealers are selling, private owners are selling it for. You want to get all the accolades that come along with it. So when you make the decision to go forward, then you want to make sure it's within the budget. Within the budget. If it's not within the budget, then now you're going to have stress come along with it. If you stress, most likely things not going to go as right. So I always will urge someone to look at their budget, speak to their spouse, or if you're not married, if you're living at home, get some advice from somebody who bought a car. You always want to help someone wiser than you, helping you with your second biggest purchase. Yes, we feel that we know it. Yes, we might have watched something. Yes, we think that we are adults. Yes, I agree with that. I agree we all got knowledge. I agree we all got wisdom. But there's nothing like getting understanding. You want to get understanding ahead of time. In other words, you want to take care of the understanding on the front end than having to lose on the back end. So you definitely want to do that first. And then look into buying the vehicle if everything aligns up. Meaning, you can maintain it, you can maintain the payments, the insurance, and everything that comes along with it, the tag, the registration, everything that comes along with it. Then, well, what's the average cost to maintain this vehicle? All changes, tires, brakes, all the maintenance that come with it. What's the average cost to maintain this yearly? Can I budget for this yearly average cost? Now, there are many things you could look on the front end. So we know when you get into it, you are properly prepared for this.
Y'all see why I got him here, man. I told you he ain't playing no games, okay? He didn't heard it all. He didn't seen it all. People come in with all kinds of stuff. You see what I'm saying? And they want him to put his firefighting suit on and put out the fire. Just fix it. I don't know. I don't care. How people get erratic. Like I was supposed to be the work truck. I don't know what's going on. Like
Mm-hmm.
they get into that erratic space because they didn't do what they needed to do on that front end. I think all of those aspects that you brought on, like how much does this cost? In essence, in addition to what the sticker is. So if the sticker is, 15,000, you know, and you thinking about, how much is it going to cost to maintain this? If this went out, if this went out, if this went out, if this went
Right.
out, those aspects right there, I think if folks was more educated, they would have to adjust prices because you over there talking with that salesman, that salesman or saleswoman, that their job is to sell, right? Like you said, the front end person, like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
we got these $200 tires when you need, these $60 tires is just as good. You see what I'm saying? So they trying to get you, to spend $200 per tire. That's $800 versus $240. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So, you know, the that's their job. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the speed rating is this and blah blah blah. They start getting into that stuff. You like, I don't know what they talking about. It don't matter. Okay, I just need the tires so I can go. You see what I'm saying? So all these things they come along with it. So I think you brought up some great aspects. So let's talk about your program, Extend Your Car Life. You know, what does it entail? Who's some of the people that came through, blah blah blah. Like just break it down. Get it, give the
All
people
right.
some.
So yeah, definitely extend your car life. But the theme is web maintenance is better than repair, right? You always want to try to maintain the vehicle as best as possible. I mean, repairs and getting those, you just don't know when the car might just break down on you. But if you could kind of get a good maintenance schedule regimen, we hope that you don't have no surprises happening as far as being repaired. So I definitely had a few people came through that had some issues. We talking about from local shops to dealerships to where they just wasn't treated right. So I say, you know what, I'll take some time out and help them out. So I'll give you an instance, one or two instances where a lady came, she went to a local shops and she realized that she couldn't get the proper diagnosis on the vehicle. So they told her, well, I did charge you half of the price, which was $70, because they couldn't fix it. Then she took it to a dealership. Now, prior to taking the dealership, the time they took trying to fix it, the battery died. So she took it to the dealership, got it towed with the dead battery. The dealer supposedly they hook up their jumper to get it energized so that they could check it out. They was telling that the fuel pump was bad on it. So she ended up calling me and asking me, for assistance, some help, some advice. So I asked her, what happened? She said, well, at this moment, the dealership is telling that the fuel pump is bad and it's going to be roughly around $2,000 to repair the car. So I said, wait a minute now. So you telling me that the battery died and they was able to check it with the dead battery? I said, okay, so this is what we're going to do here. First, we're going to get your money back from the shop that cost you the $70. The dealership charge you $194 for the diagnosis. We also going to get that money back as well, too. And, if you prepared to go through this, we could do this together. She was like, okay, let's go forward. So, okay. So we did a three-way call first because at this moment, the car was at the dealership. So we dealt with the dealership first. Did a three-way call to the dealership. And the dealership informed me that they did their diagnosis and it's $197 and it is what it is. So I said, okay, so what type of diagnosis y'all guys did? Oh, well, we jump started the vehicle and we checked the power for the fuel pump. I said, well, when you say jump started, what you mean by that? Because as far as I'm concerned, the battery was dead. What did y'all use to get the power jump started? He said that they use a jumper. I said, well, how much voltage this jumper pertains? He said 15 volts. I said, whoa, 15 volts. Well, how much volts the alternator generates for the vehicle for proper operation? He said 13 volts. I said, well, would you not think 13 and 15 is two different numbers and you now overcharge the actual vehicle operation? And possibly, what if you burnt out the fuel pump and probably burnt out some other electronic components? Because now you 2 volts over. You never want to be overcharging any type of vehicle when it calls for the manufacturer specs. So he was like, oh, no, we didn't. I said, but so you just admitted to me that you put 15 volts on that. So now, this could be a problem here. You might have burnt some wires out now. We're not sure what's going on. So he kind of get a little stern. Well, if she wants the car back, she could just take it and just pay us our money. I say, do you have someone above you and maybe I can speak to a little more reasonable because you seem to get a little more hostile? Well, I'm the highest guy, blah, 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 blah. So I told her, let's get off the phone with him. Let's see if we can find somebody else. So we end up finding somebody a little over him. And we spoke to that gentleman. And normally when you're dealing with stuff like this, they inform the higher up first. So they kind of like be on one page. So one thing that they forgot to do is that during the conversation, they were charging 3 hours to do the job, right? It was a Nissan vehicle. And we actually, it was an Affinity vehicle. And we took it to a Nissan dealership. So what we did is we called Affinity and see how much they would have charged. So Affinity charged an hour and a half. Nissan was charging 3 hours. So we were saying, wait, they're overcharging on the hours. So they forgot to mention that to the higher up. So when we ended up speaking to him, we said, well, we get what you're saying that y'all guys, took time out to say that. And I said, but why y'all are double charging this person? I was asking. He's like, I'm not sure what you talk. I said, well, I told her to get the paperwork on the estimate. She has it. She has showing she's being double charged. Oh, I didn't know nothing about that. He starts saying. I said, well, let me ask you a question. How much further do you want me to take this? Then he ended up getting off the phone. 30 minutes later, she was told, come back, we're going to get you checked to get your money back. And then we went back to the other place, got the $70 back. Then I told her, well, you got your money back now from two of the different places that didn't do you right. Now I'm going to do a research for you. So the $2,000, they were charging $1,080 for the fuel pump. I did the research with the same part number, exact same fuel pump, and I found it for $435. Now we talking about more than half the price at the same dealership. So all what happened was is that she had to go pick it up from the exact same dealership parts department. So spending $1,080, spend $435. So that happened. Yeah. Second step, the labor that they were charging, was what, 900 and something dollars. I am helping out on getting that lowered to like 200 and something dollars from the labor. So she ended up spending about roughly under $700 versus $2,000, plus get her that now said feedback. So the moral to the story is that the knowledge that we have, that we think we do, sometimes could cause us be ripped off. And it's always good to go to a professional, somebody that knows the field and the language, and get the right information to save you 30, 50 plus percent on the transaction that you're doing that you need for yourself, your kids, and your family. I'm going to just land there with that story only.
She would have been paid 3 times.
Yep.
3 times. Yeah. Or more. Yeah. Deep. So I'm asking you to infer now. Why do you think that some of these places, utilize these kind of techniques as common practice, for folks that come in?
Say it again.
So like use these techniques, like they oversell, they upcharge.
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
it's our negligence or what is it? Like
So
what's some contributing factors for that?
the thing is that in life, you always want to get things settled on the front end. This is for anything, whether it's automotive, whether it's going to the doctor for a checkup, whether it's buying food. It's like going to the grocery store, right? The best tactic to use is to write a list. And writing a list, you know exactly what the mission is. You're not going to go there to overspend. You're not going to go there to underspend. Now, if you do have a price raise, it is what it is, but that's an item that you want. So at least on the front end, you have a good estimate, whether it's $10 over or $10 under that you're looking for. So life is always about getting a strategy or a plan together and executing it on the front end versus the back end. So most of us don't utilize the front end. Even I myself, could be guilty of it sometimes. But I'm a human like everybody else who's guilty. But the front end tactic is always better to use. So if you know you want to bring your car in, say for oil change, you go and do a research on multiple places that do oil changes to get a better understand how much it costs, what it consists of doing the oil change. Versus going to the store, oil change should only take 5 minutes. Oil change and I'm taking 30. Now you upset. Now you are hindering yourself from a health perspective because you upset, you stress, because you had a perception of 5 minutes. Now you learn on the back end, it's not 5 minutes versus the front end. It would take sometimes 20, 30, 40 minutes or more based on where you go at. So it's very important to get information on the front end, whether if you go online and do your own research, where you call up a gentleman or lady who you know as a mechanic, or you call up different stores and ask them questions on what it takes to do certain things and what to expect out of it. Because you always want to have your expectation met, but it's only met when you do your research and study on the front end.
All right, all right. So, what can people expect from your program, and how do they get access to it?
Well, definitely the goal is not to be taken advantage of. Definitely that's one, to be able to save some money at the same time, save some time and road safety, because you want to help the family safe, your kids safe on the road, and of course yourself being safe on the road. So yes, we can save some money, but we do not want to lose quality of parts, quality of your vehicle, so that way you can always be safe on the road. Again, it's a website I need to call extendyourcarlife.com. You definitely can reach out to me on, and also I have a Extend Your Car Life Gmail as well too. You could be able to um, email me if you want to as well too. I have a YouTube video called Extend Your Car Life. You can always leave information on as well too. Extend Your Car Life on YouTube as well too. You can always reach me on, and I probably put some in the chat as well too on the information for those who want to know. But go ahead.
I was just getting the website together real quick. I know it's over here, so
Okay, that's cool.
you can see it. You know, the scammers out here. We got we. They be like, I went
Right.
to that
So
website and it ain't work. You know what I'm saying? So we
right.
got to
So with the website, I do like a free audible consultation. And the goal to that is for one to be able to speak, what they're looking for, what the issue may be, whether if they are on the front end aspect of things on how to go about it, or they're on the back end part of it on how to get out of it or how to deal with it to where they don't feel like they're being taken advantage of. But we could always have a conversation on that so we could go forward and see what's the best route on solving that issue. Because a lot of us just don't know, and it's not really our fault, that we don't know. But, there's somebody out here that do care, that be able to help you now to get out of that issue that you're in. So,
So I know you was dealing with some young people uh, a while ago. I wanted to know what was up with that, and do you still deal with young people about teaching STEM, and is this program? Because I know before you had some young
right,
people
that's
you
it,
was
right.
working with in regard, right? So are you still working with those young people, or and how do you introduce this idea of maintenance is better than repair to young people?
Right. So I'm looking at a 501c3 because I also realize as much knowledge you could give someone and wisdom they could obtain from the knowledge, sometimes financials is a challenge. So it would be good if I could, get the 501c3 was I'm working on in place where others could help support that. So that's something that I'm looking to push forward in the future, and I'm pretty much looking to work with others as well too of the same hard mind and spirit as well, helping people because we could know everything that we need to know on the front end, but if the financing there on the front end, sometimes it just don't work with the way how we want it to be. So that's something that I'm looking at to do to where people now could be less stress free when it come down to trying to get to the grocery store, take the kids to school, be able to go to work, and be able just to support themselves without having to worry too much about their vehicle having an issue.
And what would you say like it's a safe age to start introducing like little concepts like that with young people?
You say a safe aid. I'm not sure what you
Like
mean by that.
how to read the tires, the
Okay,
out there with
okay,
the
now
dipstick stuff like that. You see what
I
I'm
got
saying?
it
Like
now. So, with that, there are measuring tools for the tires. You know
mhm.
what? So I happy you asked. So I'm gonna go into another situation which gonna help what you just spoke on. So this lady also another lady came to me where she had an SUV she bought from one of those buy here pay here places. They give her 3 months of warranty. So this buy here pay here you is it's technically against the law when you sell someone something, right? And you want to also read the rules on this too, just to verify. It should be road worthy or safety. You can't just get a vehicle and it costs you get an accident or get you in trouble. So the vehicle should be roadworthy or safety when you buy it from this legit place. I'm not speaking for private owners or private sellers. I'm speaking for those who are a company that is building legit. So she had 3 months on this vehicle. So what she did was she decided to take it, for me to look it over to check to see if it is safe. So as I was looking over the vehicle, I noticed at least three of the tires was not safe. The measurement was pretty low. So most tires depends on which one you purchase. You could run from like measurement of 10 millimeter to like low end, I say five. 4 and 3 is when you start getting into the part where now you riding a road, it may not hold the traction and it may not be too safe. So hers was like around a 3, which is pretty low, which is in the red technically, and lower than that be to zero like in the red. So I noticed that, and I let her know, hey, these guys shouldn't sell this with these tires like this. They're very low. Then second, I noticed a water pump was leaking on it as well too. So I also note that down, letting them know, well, you also got have an overheating and your engine could be damaged with this leaking water pump as well. Um, I noticed other things, but they were not pertaining to the warranty. But those two main things are pertaining to the warranty. So she took it back there and they looked it over. And I said to her, okay, what to do is keep me on the phone so they don't try to say things to you that just doesn't make any sense. Of course, their goal is to try to persuade you to believe nothing is wrong with the car and wait till the 3 months is up and hoping you bring it back to them and get you in the full charge of it. So the gentleman told her nothing is wrong with the tires. He also told her he don't see no leak with the water pump. These are the two things that they would have to take care of under warranty, not some other stuff I seen. So I said, okay, lift it. I said, the vehicle lifted. He said, yes. I said, lift a little higher and look between the alternator and the power and you'll see a little drip coming from the water pump and the coolant. He looked. Oh yeah, I do see it. The water pump is leaking. So I say, you also said that the tires are good, right? Yes, sir, the tires are good. So do me a favor. Give me the measuring specs of all the four tires. Next minute, oh yeah, we got chain through the tires. So the thing is, the goal is not to argue, but to be informed. And once you're informed, you just ask informed questions. And once you do that, now you have the tools to get what you want from these people because you have to now ask for measurement specs. Did use the proper, let's say for the tire gauge? Did you use a tire gauge? Did you use a dollar indicator for the rotors. So that there's things you ask that they're gonna decide to get a little worried because if they, especially you ask them for your old parts, if you decide to do work with them, hey, make sure you save the old parts. I mean, to save the old part, they got to actually do the work. They got to take the part off in order to give you old part. So they're just things that when you say it put mechanics on alert, and it's just not. So I don't want to make it seem like it's just a mechanic. You also got to realize if it is not like a tree mechanic where he has to say from the beginning to the end. When you go to shops, mechanics don't really have to say. It's the guys in the front that's dictating what the mechanic should do. So when you see you have an issue, it's not really a bad mechanic. It's the people up front that sometimes they make a mistake. Sometimes they do what they do to make the money. So the mechanic is just following along. So that's why I said earlier, you always go to the mechanic and ask the mechanic, hey, what's going on? What's your thoughts? The reason why you go to the mechanic, because the mechanic will be more cautious of his or her job on doing something wrong. They're going to want to protect themselves by telling you the right thing. For instance, the guy up front going to say, oh, I just did not know. Well, I'm not a certified mechanic. I just made a mistake what I said to you. See, that certified mechanic cannot say that. He's a actual certified mechanic. So there's no room to say, oh, I just made a mistake. That's why it's always good to go to the actual mechanic. And if you don't have that accessibility, you always come to the lead mechanic, ExtendYourCarLife.com. You know, I'm open to always help those who are in need.
Almost forgot about that aspect. ASC certified versus not ASC certified mechanic. Yes, your thoughts. You know, some folks say I ain't got to be ASC certified to be a mechanic. Blah blah blah. They start telling you that the what's the distinction between for those who know for versus those who don't know.
Well, we do have, like you mentioned, the trade tree mechanics, right? Who have been doing it for so long that they figured they don't need the AC certifications. So the thing is, if you decide to go to a trade tree mechanic, like they say, if you're selling a house, you're selling a car, it says as is. So when you do your work, it's as is. it ain't no warranty. It ain't no coming back complaining. There's none of that stuff happening. Now, hopefully, you get some good trade tree mechanic that you know you didn't have no issues. But when you go beyond the trade tree mechanic, you start going to actual shops. You definitely want to ask, is this person ASE certified? Because it's more of a likelihood for a shop to hire and keep and maintain a certified mechanic that knows what he's doing. It's going to be unlikely for a shop to hire and maintain a certified mechanic that's just not fixing the cars right. So if you see a mechanic being there for a while, but you got these questions, well, how long she being here? How long he being here? Oh, they was with her for 5 years. Or they was with her for 2 years. 10 years. So this is some good information. Okay. 10 years. And you got your ASE certifications. Obviously, you're doing something right because they're maintaining you. And you got certifications. Now, the next thing is to take the time out and sit down for 45 minutes to sometime over 2 hours to take these certifications means something. That means they're willing to invest in the mind and inside their life and their family. So it's very important to take that and respect those certifications, like a doctor. He took the time out to go to college. I mean, I know it's not as long, but anyone that take time out for a profession that's a skilled profession that helps save people lives. Mechanic exact same thing. They're helping people lives. So if a mechanic makes a mistake, it could be a life-threatening mistake. So mechanics are real skilled people with these certifications. So you always want to ask, is this shop ASE certified? Yes, it is. Who is the ASE certified guy in the shop or lady in the shop? This is her, this is him. So you always want to do that and then have a conversation with that person. Well, how long were you working here? Or how long were you a mechanic? Well, I have a coolant leak. Are you comfortable with this? Are you comfortable with this type of brakes? You can have a conversation with these. They're people like you. You can have a conversation. Yes, ma'am. Yes, I am comfortable. Okay. Then we could go forward with it. So those ASCs, I definitely would lean towards those people who took that time out to gain their skills and their certification behind their skills. Because you also got to look at why these ASCs are important. Let's just say a non-ASC tech work on the vehicle. And them working on the vehicle, something went wrong. Now, if an insurance claim happens, they have to use the certification of the ASE technician if they have to go to court. So they have to be careful on what they're doing with that, because it looks better with the ASE certification if they have to go that far versus a non-ASE certification person. Did it throw?
Yeah, I think you froze up a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess it was your turn. I guess it was your turn. Mine happened before we started. So,
yeah. Let me see here. Oh, my whole thing I could get froze. I may have to come out. You can hear me, right?
Yeah. Hey.
That's weird. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to come out and then come back in.
All right.
And buying back the block, and let's open our own business so we'll have some place to shop. Start investing in ourselves, is what we do, cause they do not. So we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. Yeah, we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. Every hustler that could hustle, start investing in your spot. Don't you see these vacant houses and you see these vacant lots? So we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. Yeah, we buying back the block. My brothers buying back the block. Sisters buying back the block. My sisters buying back the block. Don't you see these vacant houses and you see these vacant lots? So we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. Yeah, we buying back the block. My OGs buying back the block. Youngins buying back the block. My youngins buying back the block. Start investing in yourselves is what we do, cause they do not. So we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. If we gon' get this cash and chop, this bullshit's got to stop. All this his beef, her beef, this and that, man, let's just get some guap. Dodging SWAT and got the digi, really, let's invest in stock. I suggest we cash some checks, it's really just a building block. See my circles talking cheese and bread and dough like pizza box. So let's get some cheese and bread and dough for our own pizza shop. And we never needin' your fast food when auntie making plates, cause that's fish and fries, you get 2 sides of drink and slice of cake. The mechanic shop, the barber shop, the hair and nail salon. On the corner store or grocery store, let's get some seasoned farm. Cause when summertime, when school let out, we started up a julep house. Then we passed it to the kids to show them what this bit is about. Used to grind the tubers out the Buick with the music clout. Now he with the wife and kids to show you what them Jews about. 10%, $100,000, it's in stacks. So all you need is $10,000 to buy a house for 100 racks. Wait, all you need is $10,000 to buy a house for 100 racks. Yup, all you need is $10,000. Thinking figure that with your income tax. Shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. And let's open our own business so we'll have some place to shop. Start investing in ourselves, is what we do, cause they do not. So we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. Yeah, we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. Every hustler that could hustle, start investing in your spot. Don't you see these vacant houses and you see these vacant lots? So we shutting down their businesses and buying back the block. Yeah, if you getting money, stop buying back the neighborhood. Buy up these houses, these empty lots. Stop buying buildings, opening businesses. Stop buying land, property. You know what I'm saying? If you want to multiply your choppy, I don't care how you getting your bread. Shout out to my peoples up at Be Healthy. You know what I mean? Why we ain't got no black grocery stores?
DJ Nani Nan.
All right. There we go. You back with us?
Yeah.
So y'all see all the links if y'all go to the website. While I get it together over here, y'all go to the website, ExtendYourCarLife.com. I see the website. You can subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Email your questions. Reach out to our brother. Like I said, he's been doing this for a long, long time. And he's an advocate out here. I don't want you getting taken advantage of. He shared a couple of stories. There's a lot more stories he could share. So just make sure y'all go check out this website. You need an advocate in these places, because you go in these places and you don't know what you're talking about. They're going to be talking to you about a whole bunch of money. So let's bring our brother back to lead mechanic.
Yep, I guess like you said, it was my time.
Right.
Man, that's crazy. I had to turn off the whole thing, my computer itself, and I don't know.
Yeah. So you got anything else you wanted to touch on as far as this is concerned?
Well, definitely, I want people definitely to try not to be taken advantage of and try to be careful, because sometimes I know when the car breaks down, we kind of go into the reptilian brain, which is the stress factor, and we just need it fixed. And needing it fixed also could means being overcharged, calling up a friend or brother or father, hey, just fix my car, and instead of spending $600, you may spend $1,000. And one of the things I would advise not to do when going into a shop or to a tree mechanic is say, hey, I got $1,000 to spend, could you fix my car? Because guess what? Fixing the car might be $100, maybe $300, but you just told them, take my $1,000. So there's just keywords you don't want to say. And there's keywords you would like to say. Hey, I did some research and I noticed y'all guys got some competitors. Do y'all price match? Yes, ma'am. Yes, we do price match. Okay. What is your price on this here? You never give the price that you got first. Always ask them for their price. You get their price, and based on what the price is, you then want to ask them, what's the quality of parts you're putting on? Because you got to also consider, are these premium? Are these average? Are these just okay parts? You got to also look at that as well. That all pertaining to price matching. Because you don't want to have them say, Well, this here I could beat whatever you got going on, but this $500 work could have been premium. Yeah, they beat it by $100, but 3 months the car breaks down again on inferior parts. So you want to be careful with that. And there's so much more to this. It's so much more diverse that it's always good to have somebody on your side to help speak and walk you through. And this is why I stepped forward in this realm. I saw nobody else was doing it. And we need people helping people. Say it again, we need people helping people when it comes down to this. Because we all, some way, are being taken advantage of. And the goal is to not try to be taken advantage of in this automotive field. I'll extend your car life. So that pretty much would be it. And definitely want to thank you, brother, for allowing me to be on this platform again. And definitely appreciate your growth and you know how you're doing your thing. And I'm gonna also encourage you, keep going. And I want to thank you also for being on this here tonight, because sometimes we could see someone doing something and thinking, oh, that's normal. You don't know what this brother's going through. You don't know, he may just not want to do this, you know. So I have to thank him for making it here on his own show. Thank you for even being here. You know, this is your show, but I'm going to still thank you. You know, because sometimes these things are difficult. So definitely appreciate it. And thank you. And thank the audience also for making it, because sometimes they may have something going on. So I want to thank you all that's watching tonight and it's going to watch later on in the future, because these are very good gems that y'all guys are hearing. And please take it to heart that we don't need to be taken advantage of. And I'm here for y'all.
That's it. So all of the aspects that was named, all of the descriptions, y'all go to ExtendYourCarLife.com and you can see all of the links. And the links also in this video description. You go to the video description, you can see all the links. But the main link you need is ExtendYourCarLife.com. You get access to everything else right there. So my brother, the lead mechanic, like I said, he don't take no mess. He ain't gonna let nobody jive with him, so he definitely not gonna let nobody jive with you.
No.
We ain't even getting into that. That's a whole nother show. You understand what I'm saying? But he's one that's true to this, and is a true advocate for folks to, you know, help themselves out, so you don't find yourself in a bad situation. So just like you thank me, I want to thank you for your consistency over the years and your advocacy over the years. So whether you was talking to young people or not so young people, you know, in this way, empowering them and getting them together. So thank you for your spirit of service to your community for as long as you've been doing it. And you know, I pray that it continues to go and to grow, and Extend Your Car Life become a household name. Like, you know, they got Car Shield and all this other stuff out here. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I pray that your, you know, what you're offering becomes a household name.
Yep, I definitely appreciate that.
All right. We out, y'all. Peace.
Please.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them that in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's go.